With over 20 years of combined recruitment experience, Bastion is your trusted advisor for sourcing leaders. Technical experts in supply chain recruitment, Bastion uses a proven customer-focused delivery. Speak to a consultant today for your recruitment needs. Bastion, experts in sourcing leaders that deliver change.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Trade Australia. I'm your host, Lawrence Christoffelsz. Today we've got some fantastic guests on this week's episode. We're going to have a whole range of interesting discussions and an update on the latest port and industrial action as well from Zoran at IFCBAA. To kick off today's episode, I'm really excited to be joined by Harry Tran, who's the founder and CEO of the Vietnam Australia Trade Promotion, as well as a co-founder and head of external relationships with the Business Chamber of Vietnam Business Association in Sydney. Thanks so much for joining us, Harry.
Thank you very much. I'm pleasure.
Great. Harry, look, can you please tell us about VA Trade Promotion and what the programs you offer and how you help companies?
My company to main support the trade and investment between two countries. And so the main activity we do is we organize the business tour for the government body from Vietnam to come to Australia to look for trade and investment opportunity. But not only the government sector, but private sector as well. Along with the business tour, we organize business matching for the business delegation from both countries. They can meet in Vietnam, in like the biggest hub like Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi capital, and vice versa in Sydney or Melbourne. And we organize the trade investment seminar as well.
Great.
So that to make the connection business matching for like the business people who want to expand their business network or open the business channel between two countries. To do that, we host annually a lot of delegation from both countries to visit and working with some news agency in Vietnam, for example, Vietnam Television or the Vietnam News Agency, to promote that activity and to update all our business network about the business or economy or the update information in both market and country. And of course, we use the social media as a good channel to inform our business partner and network to tell them what's going on in next few months or in a year time. And one of the last activity is how to support the business to join the expo or the trade show in both markets.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think there's always a growing opportunity for trade and investment opportunities between Australia and Vietnam. So great work that you're doing there, Harry, with the VA Trade Promotion. What about the Vietnamese Entrepreneurs Association in Sydney? I know that you're heavily involved with that. What are your what are the types of programs and support mechanisms you offer through that body?
The main reason why I and some other business people set up this business association because we see the huge demand for the Vietnamese business to come to Australia to do business here, to set up the new business, to do joint venture with Australian business, or just simply the import-export product. That's the reason when we set up the business association, we organize the monthly bonding so that the people can meet to talk, to explain about their business and your requirement, how to support them. And we organize other like the golf tournament so that to make the way for the people can connect with each other and find the right partner after the tournament. Another one is promote business member through our social media, like the website of association or LinkedIn or Facebook page of association. And the key member here is like they do business in Australia or they do business in Vietnam but want to do business in Australia, and they can join our business association.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like a great avenue to build those relationships, have some fun, and really get to know each other for some opportunities. So, with that in mind, Harry, what's your opinion? What are the types of industries and investment opportunities between Australia and Vietnam? What are the type of growth sectors and products or services that you think are emerging?
Actually, I see the Vietnam and Australia is complementary economy. For example, the Vietnam, the population now is 96 million people, and it's raising a lot of the medium class, and they need a lot of quality product from Australia, such as beef or wine or education service, or even the finance service as well. Because seeing Vietnam open the door to the rest of the world, and private sector grow very quick. Not only the number, but the quality of the business as well. And some business, they have like 10,000, 20,000 employee or even more. And that reason, I see that huge opportunity for Australian business in that market. Okay. And one of the things I see is the education sector or agricultural business or travel is now booming between two countries.
Yeah.
But in the future, I see it's like, for example, fintech. Mm-hmm. That's one of very good opportunity, because Australia can combine their strength about the finance, insurance industry, combined with the new technology in terms of the 4.0 technology evolution. And the Vietnam now, all the people almost, they have smartphone, and they connect with internet, and all of that service in terms of online trading or the finance. I think it's very good opportunity for Australian business in that sector. Great. And the second sector is investment.
Yeah.
Now in Vietnam, they need hospitals, they need good school, they need good infrastructure, they need good sport facility, need good childcare system, everything. It's mean like in terms of the investment in property, in industrial, all those kind of industry is very good. And I also Australian business to spend time to look at close look at this market.
Fantastic. Look, I think definitely Australia's got some great skill sets and expertise in that infrastructure, in rolling out some of those programs. Obviously, with travel is a little bit impaired now because of COVID. But what about, Vietnam is still growing with trade opportunities and investment opportunities with Australia. What are some of the traditional other countries that Vietnam typically deals with from exports and imports?
A very strong partner of Vietnam now is Japan. For example, at this moment, the Japanese Prime Minister visits Vietnam.
Right.
And that is the first trip of the new Prime Minister. And why on the media, newspaper, they raise the question, why the new Japanese Prime Minister choose Vietnam? It's the first trip. And because of a lot of Japanese business, they invest, they trading, they set up the factory in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And Vietnam and Japan has a long relationship, very good relationship. And in terms of business, Japan is the top country invest in doing business in Vietnam. Outside of Japan, we can say Korea is very big trade and investment partner as well. Or of course China, Taiwan, Singapore is like the big one, and just recently Vietnam signed the FTA with European bloc, and they will be open the economy for Vietnam market and vice versa, and a lot of opportunity when the investor from European or from US or even from Australia or New Zealand, when they come to invest in Vietnam, they can open the door to a lot of, like we can say, largest economy in the world, like US or Europe or Japan.
Fantastic. I think there's a whole range of growing opportunities between Vietnam and other markets, and it's great work that you're doing, Harry, in Sydney and across Australia, with really opening the opportunities and eyes up for Australian companies to consider how they can engage with Vietnamese companies and how they can work with you to really foster those introductions and build those relationships for great success. That's wonderful. What about, I think the Vietnamese consumers, they obviously very similar to most other Asian markets. It sounds like they like Australian products and services. What's their perception of Australia, Harry?
I think this point is very it's very good advance of Australian business when they want to enter Vietnam market, because the Vietnamese people, they like Australian product or services. For example, education. Vietnam is the top country to send their children to Australia for study. Like at the moment, it's almost 30,000 Vietnamese students in Australia.
Wow.
It means they like and they evaluate, or like they see the Australian qualification is very good for their children. In terms of that is the English country, speaking country, or in terms of the advanced economy, in terms of the open society of Australia, or that kind of thing, is create the very good picture for the Vietnamese parent. Correct. That is the one thing I see that is a good chance for Australian business. And the second one is now agricultural product of Australia, like beef, wine, and other product like supplement product as well. Fantastic. They in Vietnam they love that product.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So I see that it's like the Australian quality, the Australian made, that is like the ticket, the guaranteed ticket, the one of the factor to support the Australian business to have the success in Vietnam market. And for example, now I am working and supporting some very big business from Vietnam, like airline or bank or the real estate developer. All they want to enter Australian market to expand their business here, to find the gateway to enter Australian market, because of they see the consumer flow from Vietnam to Australia is really big.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Harry. It's been, we're just about to run out of time, but I want to really thank you. We'll definitely get you back on the show again very soon and keep talking about these updates. And as we have specific opportunities or trade missions or exhibitions, it'd be great to get you back on to promote that through the show as well. What's the best way, Harry, for companies to get in touch with you at VA Promotions?
I see is Australian business to enter Vietnam markets, they have quite a lot of advantage, but some struggle I see is for some ways the business culture is still different, and the language barrier is the issue as well. But the main thing and very important thing is how to find the right partner for them to work with. Even they want to open just the office, representative office, or it's a joint venture. The main thing is they need to find the right partner, and through the channel, they know exactly, this partner is the most suitable one. And I think for this point, Australian business must be spend time and do the research to find the right partner. That is the key thing I see they need to look at. And another thing is how the market work and who is the key authority to open that door for them.
Yeah.
But now, so Vietnamese government through different organizations, they have a gateway to support the FDI business, not only from Australia but around the world, to enter Vietnam market, to understand better the legal system, to connect them with the right partner as well. It's just the main thing is the Australian business should take a close look, do the research about the market, and try to find the right partner through different channels, like from the government body, from business association, or from business like myself.
Great. Thanks so much, Harry. It's been a pleasure to have you on. And as I said, I'll definitely get you back on in the future again for update. So, we'll want to reach out to recommend to all the viewers to look at Harry and VA Promotions, Trade Promotions, to really support that gateway and tap into your expertise, Harry, so to take advantage of these great opportunities between Australia and Vietnam. So thanks so much. And
yes, thank you very much to having me today, and I look forward to work with you closely with Vietnam market.
Fantastic. Likewise, looking forward to keep working with you as well, Harry, on the Vietnam-Australia opportunities. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Stay safe
Bye-bye.
and well in Sydney. We look forward to speaking to you very soon.
All right, thank you.
So there you've heard from Harry Tran from VA Trade Promotions up in Sydney. They're doing some great work, and Harry and his team can help you really access some fantastic opportunities inbound and outbound between Australia and Vietnam. Stick around after the break. We'll be joined by another industry expert, and we'll see you very soon.
With over 20 years of combined recruitment experience, Bastion is your trusted advisor for sourcing leaders. Technical experts in supply chain recruitment, Bastion uses a proven customer-focused delivery. Speak to a consultant today for your recruitment needs. Bastion, experts in sourcing leaders that deliver change.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching another episode of Trade Australia. Now joining us all the way from Adelaide is Mandy from Trade Plus 24, who's currently in aged care over there. So tell us about why you're in aged care and where is Trade Plus 24 from, for those in Australia who don't know.
So I'm actually in aged care for the fast Wi-Fi. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fortunate enough to be able to visit my gran finally. So it's a very humbling experience being in aged care. I highly recommend it. And fortunately, I can work from nursing home. So WFNH at the moment. So Trade Plus 24 is originally from Switzerland. We are now a standalone business in Australia, and we service SMEs. So we basically provide funding in terms of a line of credit that's supported by debtors. So we advance up to 80% on your debtor book.
So how's that unique to some of the other lenders out there, Mandy?
So we offer a more streamlined and cost-effective product than your traditional invoice finance. So usually there's cumbersome administrative processes, endless proofs of delivery, audits, monthly reconciliations. We don't require all those things, so it's a much more user-friendly line of credit. Of particular interest to this audience is that we actually fund overseas debtors, so you don't actually have to wait to export if you don't have the current cash flow. We can support those activities.
Well, that's one of my next questions. I want to ask you, what's your thoughts about how business is finding cash flow, especially with this whole COVID pandemic? It must be a challenge.
Yeah, it's pretty tough out there, as we know, particularly in Victoria. Some good news on the weekend, but it's been tough. We've heard the word pivot a lot, and we've heard the word, obviously, unprecedented even more. What this has meant is it's motivated businesses to be nimble and change the way they traditionally do things. So we've seen gin distillers, they're making sanitizer, fashion houses making masks. But one other way to pivot is to begin or accelerate operations in an overseas market. And a major traditional barrier to that is that they can't support it with their existing cash flow, and their current providers perhaps won't support overseas debtors, which is something that we very much do.
What about, like, do we need to have a minimum loan amount, obviously outside of the traditional lenders? What do you guys have to do anything as a minimum?
Yeah, so it's a business-to-business product. So we start at 400,000 up to 10 million. And I know you're too polite to ask. Our interest rates are between 7 and 9%.
No, that's great. I mean, it's good that you volunteered that already, and those are still competitive rates, so it's great.
Absolutely.
So,
no, it's great. It's the question on everybody's lips, because often a lot of these loans are higher than 15%, and people are shocked that we're quite low.
Yeah, it's actually, you'd expect it to be higher than those, so it's good that you mentioned it, so thanks, Mandy.
Thanks for not asking.
My pleasure. So what would you like to tell the businesses who are watching at the moment, and who are struggling with cash flow, who are looking at opportunities to pivot and all those type of things you mentioned? What's the best? What's your tips and advice?
I would say have a look at your debtors ledger. If you're usually at a balance of over 500,000, I mean, perhaps now it's not at that level, but usually if you're over 500,000, that's really a solid asset that you can leverage from. So the other advantage of our revolving line of credit is that we increase with your sales, but adverse to that, we also limit your exposure during downturn, which you could be experiencing right now. So if you're unsure or want to discuss your options, you can just give one of our guys a call or visit our website, tradeplus24.com.au, and someone will be near you.
I think you've got some really great tips and advice there. It's important for companies now to have a whole diverse share of wallet, as they say, and making sure that they can get the best products and services from a diverse range of lenders and solutions to maximise cash flow, maximise export opportunities, trade opportunities. So, Trade Plus 24 has got a whole range of great products, as you mentioned, and those rates sound really appealing. So, congratulations on that. And thanks for coming on the show. I think it's great to have you on. It's good to see you in the nursing home. I say that in a nice way. And that you're safe and well. So, unlike us in Melbourne,
thank you.
Locked away. But
hope you're well too.
Great.
And thanks for your time, Lawrence. It's a pleasure.
Thanks, Mandy. All right, always good to chat, and we'll look forward to speaking again very soon.
Take care. Bye.
All right, take care. So there you've heard from Mandy from Trade Plus 24. As you've heard, the rates are surprisingly competitive, especially for a non-bank lender, which make it really interesting for you to go and talk to them, see how they can help you with all your trade, debtor finance, and really free up some cash flow solutions for you, which is always important during these challenging times, even going forward. So stick around after the break. We're going to wrap up the episode with an update from Zoran Christoffelsz from IFCBAA. Great. We'll see you very soon.
With over 20 years of combined recruitment experience, Bastion is your trusted advisor for sourcing leaders. Technical experts in supply chain recruitment, Bastion uses a proven customer-focused delivery. Speak to a consultant today for your recruitment needs. Bastion, experts in sourcing leaders that deliver change.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching another episode of Trade Australia. As part of our usual episodes on a weekly basis, we've got a fantastic proud partnership with IFCBAA, the International Freight Forwarders and Customs Brokers Association of Australia. And our go-to expert is Zoran Christoffelsz, who joins us now via Zoom. Hi, Zoran. Always great to chat.
Hi, Lawrence. Thank you for having me on your show.
Always a pleasure, Zoran. So I'm really thankful for coming on the show, because there have been a lot of challenges in recent weeks and months around ports and congestion, a whole range of things. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on, especially in Sydney, the congestion impacting and those type of impacts at the moment?
Sure, Lawrence. Look, the overall global supply chain has been impacted, not only in Sydney, but if you look at Asia, there's a shortage of equipment. A lot of the shipping lines are struggling to reposition containers. So the global picture is not looking too good at the moment. There is more demand than what the supply is. So for your listeners, the importers and exporters, it's important to understand that forwarders and brokerages rely on the services of shipping lines and the capacity and services. But domestically here, due to industrial relations, we have had significant delays in Sydney, and those industrial relations are now being postponed to the end of this month. So it is not over, but at least it allows to facilitate that trade in Sydney. And we're hoping that they will work out the arrangements between the stevedores and the union to allow trade to facilitate. But it's caused a lot of issues in Sydney, and also the domestic empty container parks. There's a lot of capacity. Ships are also bypassing Sydney coming to Melbourne. So naturally the whole supply chain is delayed, is improving now, but there's also continuing delays in Sydney, and vessels are still bypassing and coming to Melbourne, creating a little bit of congestion in Melbourne. It is operating, but not fully efficient pre-shipping period.
Yeah, it's been a domino effect, as you said, Zoran, and it is a challenge, especially one when so many companies are trying to deal with COVID on top of that. So it is a challenge, and that brings me to my next question. I know that IFCBAA are doing some really important work about advocacy. Can you tell us a bit more about that and how you're supporting the overall industry?
Yes, certainly. Yeah, we have been pretty vocal in the media. We've been on, 2GB. We've written a letter to the Prime Minister's office and his electorate office, just raising the awareness, because our members rely on an efficient supply chain. Our members don't own the trucks and the ships and the cranes and the stevedores, but as facilitators of trade, they rely on efficient supply chain to move the goods to the importers and exporters. And these disruptions have had significant impact. So we were, even though it is not a direct impact on our members, and mainly it's the consumers and importers getting the goods, it's important to understand that we are impacted because we cannot move the freight. And going through the DCN, going to local New South Wales government, Attorney General, our CEO has been vocal, and we believe we achieved raising that awareness and federal government involvement, trying to get some resolution. So we hope that continues, because it's in the interest of the nation that the trade flows. Australia's an island, and we can't do without it.
And what about, apart from the frustrations, Zoran, what about the costs involved with these industrial disputes and the bottlenecks?
Cost for trade is definitely increasing. It is something that unfortunately is passed down to the consumers. We are paying higher fees at the moment for less efficiency. And that's both on sea and air. What happens is when there is a capacity shortage in the southbound trade lane, the rates go up. So the sea freight rates are very, very high. And in the air freight environment, you would see that the air freight rates are very, very high. And the only thing that keeps air freight flowing is the government subsidy, which has been extended now till next year, and the industry welcomes that. But definitely costs are going up without any productivity gain. And we hope that, importers need to plan and absorb that through their cost of goods.
Yeah, and stay in touch with you guys and stay abreast of that so they can plan accordingly with those rate increases. Apart from the disruptions, the rate increases, what are the other regulatory border interventions or things that are causing delays at the moment, Zoran?
We're in the BMSB season. That's brown marmorated stingbug season. As you would know, there's a lot of high-risk countries, high-risk target risk goods. So what that does puts a lot of strain on the Department of Agriculture and Water Resources to facilitate clearance at the border, because the transactions that are going to the Department for assessment, it is significant during that period. And we're finding it with resourcing, some system outages, public holiday. The department is being challenged to process within the service standards. They claim that client service standards are met, but what we are debating as IFCBAA on behalf of the industry is that the client service standards that the government has set are not good enough to meet the demands of the fast-paced industry. We need service quick, fast to move freight. Things happen, things change, and we're not getting it at the moment, and it's something that we'll be advocating at a high level with the Department of Agriculture to modernise the systems service to our members who are regulated by that department.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on, and a lot of companies, as you say, they're expecting that support and that advocacy that you guys are providing, and awareness, industry updates, it's so valuable. Zoran, just to wrap up, what are the tips and advice? How can companies, importers and exporters, what can they do to minimise these disruptions or charges? What do you recommend?
It's important to start with reviewing the global supply chain. And you start with the supply. If the services are disrupted, if there's no capacity, it means you've got to start planning a lot earlier, making sure you've got good contracts in place, work closely with your service providers or shipping lines. If an import and export is using a line directly, making sure that they can secure capacity, whether it be sea and air, looking at the cost structures, expect that some of the contracts might be impacted. They might have to pay higher prices. So instead of debating with your service provider, I think we need to accept that this is not the normal in the way we facilitate trade, and be aware of some of the regulatory issues. Make sure your documentations are in order in the season, because without the correct documentation, there is going to be delays at the border to clear the cargo. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You've got to work together. We're in this together now. In order to move freight, you need to make sure that everyone in the supply chain is efficient, profitable, and able to work together to deliver the goods. Without that, it's not going to function.
Yeah, great advice, Zoran. I think, the forwarders, the brokers out there, they're doing a great job in a challenging environment. Well, as you say, there's space shortages, price hikes, industrial issues, whole range of bottlenecks that forwarders and brokers typically take the brunt of when it comes to the importers and exporters. And they're doing a great job in a challenging situation. And you guys at IFCBAA are doing great work to support them and your members as well. So congratulations on the fantastic work you're doing. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. And I'm sure we need to get you back on a regular basis leading up to Christmas as this whole supply chain starts to resettle and re-emerge as things change over the coming weeks and months.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thanks for having me on your show, mate. It's important that we share that message and we work together as a trading community to get the best outcome. So thanks once again, and talk to you soon.
Great. Thanks, Zoran. Look forward to staying in touch, and we'll catch up as soon as we can.
Thank you.
So thanks everyone for watching another episode of the Trade Australia Show. Now, before I go, don't forget, when you're watching this episode, don't forget to share, like and subscribe so you can support all the industry experts you've heard on today's show. Make sure you keep the message getting out to the industry and the community. And there's a whole range of resources, just like today's episode, as well as the other episodes, to help you grow internationally and domestically faster and smarter. Thanks again for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.
With over 20 years of combined recruitment experience, Bastion is your trusted advisor for sourcing leaders. Technical experts in supply chain recruitment, Bastion uses a proven customer-focused delivery. Speak to a consultant today for your recruitment needs. Bastion, experts in sourcing leaders that deliver change.